What's up, YouTubers? This is your boy Big Metroid Fan 12 coming to you with another video game review. This time I'm reviewing the game RoboCop, which was released on the Nintendo Game Boy by Ocean, and it's pretty much based off of the 1987 RoboCop movie. And it does follow the plot of the movie also, where Alex J. Murphy was brutally murdered by Clarence Boddicker and his gang. Um, the company OCP had brought him his dead body, and we remade him his RoboCop. You know what I'm saying? And RoboCop pretty much plotted his revenge because his memories came back. You know what I'm saying? So it's based off of that general premise. Now Ocean was also responsible for making the NES version of RoboCop. However, the Game Boy version of RoboCop is different than the NES version of RoboCop in terms of design, gameplay, soundtrack, and all that. Even the enemies are, for the most part, fundamentally different. You know what I'm saying? The only one that I know of that is in both versions is Ed 209. You know what I'm saying? So he's that particular machine is the only one that's in both games. You know what I'm saying? But plus another thing is that the Game Boy version is longer than the NES version of RoboCop. You know what I'm saying? RoboCop, the NES version of RoboCop, got 6 stages, while the Game Boy version has pretty much 9 stages where you fight different enemies and all that. But one thing I did notice that the enemies in this game are pretty much cookie cutter enemies that, of course, didn't really were not in the game, in the movie rather. Like there's this one guy in the Game Boy version of RoboCop that carries a chainsaw. There was no dude in the movie that had a chainsaw. You know what I'm saying? But there are certain aspects of the game that came from the movie, like this one dude was holding this one lady hostage. They was trying to do something to her, rob her, whatever, and they pretty much based it off that scene where the dude got shot while he was trying to hold her hostage. Then there's like the fight against Ed 209 twice. Then there's the final showdown is where you're fighting Dick Jones in the OCP office when he took the old man hostage. You know what I'm saying? So those are the main aspects of the movie that's in the Game Boy version of RoboCop. You know what I'm saying? Then there's the fact that RoboCop can use 3 different types of guns. Now his pistol is pretty much the default weapon, and the ammo is pretty much unlimited, even though it shows pretty much 99 bullets in it. You know what I'm saying? Now there is like another gun that he uses that shoots 3 bullets at the same time, pretty much like the spray gun in the Contra franchise. You know what I'm saying? Then there's the Cobra gun, of course, which is the strongest gun in the game, which is also is in the NES version of RoboCop. But like the NES version of RoboCop, the Cobra gun pretty much shows up in the later stages. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much you can RoboCop can actually jump, unlike the like RoboCop can in the NES version. You know what I'm saying? And you using pretty much the gun at all times. You know what I'm saying? And plus you can find like items like health to restore RoboCop's health, and the bullet icons for the three shotgun and the Cobra gun and stuff like that. You know. Now the graphics and design for RoboCop on the Game Boy is pretty much mediocre at best. You know what I'm saying? And the color palette is pretty bland, but to be fair, the Game Boy did only had like a couple of colors to it. But if you want some colors to this particular game, the best thing to do is have the Super Game Boy. You know what I'm saying? Now, now the controls and gameplay are pretty much a mixed bag. The good aspect of it is pretty much the use of the guns. You know what I'm saying? They're pretty fluid, and the hit detection is pretty good, regardless of which gun you're using, whether it's RoboCop's main default weapon or the Cobra gun. However, his movements and jumping is pretty stiff. You know what I'm saying? So that's the bad side of it. And as far as the soundtrack is concerned, it's pretty mediocre, and it don't even have the RoboCop theme to it. But you know what I'm saying? It should have had that because the NES version has the 8-bit version of the RoboCop theme. You know what I'm saying? Now, pretty much the biggest gripe I do have with the Game Boy version of RoboCop is really the difficulty due to the fact of the enemy placement and the number of enemies that's really like coming at you and shooting you. You know what I'm saying? It's real easy to die within, say, like 10 seconds the way that it's much as they're shooting at you. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that really resolves it, you know what I'm saying, is just keep shooting. Just shoot everybody, whether it's straight or diagonally. You know what I'm saying? It is increases your chances of actually beating it. You know what I'm saying? Now, RoboCop on the Game Boy is pretty flawed, but I'll say it's far from the worst RoboCop game that was released. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not the worst RoboCop game that I've played. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it could have been better though, you know what I'm saying, with the soundtrack and the controls and gameplay in terms of the jumping and movement. You know what I'm saying? I would really like only recommend RoboCop on the Game Boy to retro gamers and fans of the RoboCop franchise who are like interested in like playing it. But it is worth noting that some people will like it, some people won't. You know what I'm saying? Overall, RoboCop for the Game Boy is mediocre. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as the score, I definitely give it a 5 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad game, but it's not good either. Just mediocre. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, if you like RoboCop on the Game Boy, you can mention it in the comment section of the video. If you think it's one of the worst RoboCop games, you can also mention that. Feel free to mention any other RoboCop game that's like good, bad, mediocre, or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to do that. With that being said, if you like the video, click the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification button. This is your boy Big Metroid Fan 12 signing off.